Okay guys, I'm out here in Empyrion again. I'm doing really good on my food production, and I'm just getting ready to build both a small vessel and a hovercraft. Um, Not really sure which one I'm going to do first. They both have their uses. Hovercrafts are kind of like a fast uh, motorcycle. They let you cover a lot of ground quickly, and you can arm them with turrets, which is nice. It means you can leave your hovercraft on and hovering like around your mine or wherever you are at, and it will automatically shoot down drones. It's kind of like a mobile automated turret. A small vessel you can actually take to other planets, which is what's really nice, and they actually travel quite a bit faster than the hovercraft. Oops, didn't really mean to eat that, but whatever. What else? The disadvantage to a small vessel, if you're just running around the planet's surface, is when you're fighting with them, you actively have to be targeting. There's no automated turrets on a small craft, on a small vessel. So if you're just hanging out around the planet, I tend to use a hovercraft to move around mining nodes, and I use a small vessel. Well, and I've seen it on YouTube. I have not been that successful using small vessels against like fortresses. Now I went out and I gathered a bunch more resources, and just beyond this Epsilon fortress that I took over earlier, there is another fortress. So I was thinking of using uh, using a small vessel to try and take it out, and maybe that is what we will try to do. Um, I made the resolution quite a bit larger because from the YouTube videos I watched when people were trying to take out bases, from their small vessel from about 400 meters away, which is just outside the range of these guns, they might actually have a little bit more than 400 meters. But anyways, he was able to take him out using rocket launchers from outside their range. Now he did have to aim high because they start to fall off after a couple hundred meters, but they will reach out that far. At least they appeared to on the video I seen. They may have changed that in an update because I did try it on my other game. I have two games here. I have this game that I'm documenting on YouTube, and then I have another game where I experiment more. And in my experimental game, I could not see those guns, and I could not take them out for anything. Oh, crap, I still got stuff on my bar that I don't want on my bar. I'm going to have to put that. Let's put it in here. I don't know what this stuff is used for. And in my cargo box, I'm going to store these pills, because what are they? Stomach pills. Oops. I think those are probably used for, if you eat food, some food is poisonous. And that didn't get stored there either. I hope these don't spoil. They probably will. Which is fine. I can use it for more irrigation, or whatever you call it. I think I'll make my hover vessel first. I'm going to go make some more steel blocks. Some of the other things you're going to need, let's see, under here. You can filter your results on here, up here at the top. So since I'm going to be doing a hover vessel, I'm going to filter that. Here's all the stuff I have available. I like this low profile cockpit, so I'm going to use that. I also need a generator and a fuel tank. You need at least one normal thruster and directional thrusters. me think. How many of these do I usually put on? I usually use 4 sideways ones, 2 on each side to help turn. That's probably overkill, but it does help you turn faster. And I put 1 up front so that I can go in reverse and slow down. And I put 1 on the top aiming up and 1 aiming, I don't think I even need the 1 aiming down because of the hover engine. But I put the 1 up on top to lower and raise and lower. I don't know, that may be overkill too. I'm just going to make 8 of these. And we'll see if we use them. Let's see what I got there. You also need an RCS. This is what keeps you upright. And hovercrafts do have a hard time staying upright. They bump on stuff, and it doesn't matter how many hover engines you use, it really only recognizes the one that's built underneath your core. And so that is where your maximum height is on your hovercraft. If you build out too much in front or in back of your hover engine, you'll scrape along the ground if you're going over steep ground, and that can knock you over. And that's another reason you want to have some of these directional thrusters on the top of your pointing upward, because if you land upside down, you can use those sometimes to knock yourself back upright. Let's see. I don't need a hover engine. There's one that's built into the core. I don't know why that's even there. Okay, let's see. I need to start getting my parts together here. So I've got the generator, got my cockpit, I've got my fuel tank. A lot of times I'd use this even on whatever this planet is, and I'm on the starter planet that's the most easy one. You could use an open cockpit because you don't need to use oxygen. I was debating whether to use that or not. It probably is the one I should have used. I'm not going to use an O2 station because, again, I'm not on a hostile planet. I'm not going to use a fridge. I will need an ammo box, though, because I am going to put turrets on this puppy. Spotlights are nice so that you can see what you're doing. I usually just put 1 facing forwards, and then I use a couple of these lights on the bottom so that I can see if I'm over my landing pad. A cargo box is also nice for storing your mining, if you're mining stuff, or if you're having to take out a bunch of drones. Your inventory fills up, so it's good to have a cargo box just to throw all that junk in. Okay. Not sure if 60 steel blocks is going to be enough. I'm going to make another 20 of those. Okay. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to pause the video because this is really boring just watching all this stuff get built. And then it's really boring while you're trying to build these blocks, because there's a lot of shapes that you can choose from, and you just kind of hum and haw and decide, oh, I want it to look like this or that, or this didn't work. The actual building of this small vessel is a long process, so I'm not going to video that. Just make sure that you do get all these required parts. The main thing is that I've shown here in my list: your cockpit, your fuel tank, your generator, the RCS. If you start building it quite heavy, you might need another RCS to help keep it upright. Another good plan is to have an extra RCS and maybe some extra thrusters to store in your cargo box in case they get shot off by a drone. Oh, we're going to need some landing gear too. Sorry about that. I'm going to have to make landing gear. don't see it on here. Let's unfilter this. Okay, where's landing gear? Interesting. Maybe I haven't researched that yet. Let's take a look. Aha. So yeah, I'm missing landing gears. Why can't I research that? Okay, I've done something wrong somewhere. What did I do? Maybe hovercrafts, you don't really need them. But still, why didn't that let me do that for my small vessel? That's why. I'm going to go up to Tier 2 landing gear. I don't think I need heavy yet. Really the only difference between that and regular landing gear is the number of hit points it can take. Let's see. I've got all these done. I can't research these better weapons until I'm level 15. I'm actually almost level 15. The nice thing about these is if you look at the range, this pulse laser is 500 meters, which is well outside the range of most of the guns that are on bases, at least if you're playing beginner like me. And plasma cannon is also 450 meters. That's really good. See, and when you look at these rocket launchers, oh, it does say 400 meters. I could have swore when I was looking at this on my experimental game, the range on this was only like 250 meters. So I was like, how in the heck are those guys taking out guns if their range is only 200 meters? Oh, and it probably actually is now that I think about it. This is base range. Once you get in your cockpit and you have your weapon activated, it tells you what your actual range is. So there, see, like on my sniper rifle down here at the bottom right, it says my effective range is 100 or 218 meters. That's due to atmosphere. So the heavier the atmosphere is, the less range you get. So this is in a vacuum, the 400 meter. So now I've got that unlocked and I've got a lot of this stuff building. I'm going to go ahead and pause the game here, or the video, and I'll get back to you as soon as I've got the hovercraft built, or mostly built. Thanks. Okay, so here is my basic hovercraft. This is the module that gets dropped down here at the bottom when you first drop your hovercraft module, and it has a hovercraft engine built into it. This is my cockpit. Underneath the cockpit I have two directional thrusters. One is forward and one is down. And then my light. And then I've got two other directional thrusters here for side to side. And this is pretty much mirror image. There's another one for side to side thrusters. One on this side, one on the other side. Back here I have my ammo box for the guns and the rocket launcher. The cargo box for carrying stuff. That's my other thruster over there for the other side. This is the main thruster. It takes two lengthwise cubes, if that's what you want to call it. And underneath that I put two more directional thrusters, one for down and another one for forward. So I have two of them pointing forward so that I can stop faster. Now these little curved things, these are just the building blocks here under number 9 of my thing. So if you start with these little building blocks. So I did start I haven't done much armoring except for putting those curved armors on, and then there's one here that's a semicircle to pull it into the cockpit. Let's see if there's anything else that is worthy of mention. So let me get up on top here. Come on, let me up there. Okay. So from up here on top, you can see there's my generator. This is my RCS unit in the middle and just in front of the main thruster, and this is my fuel tank. You do need to leave one little bit of your fuel tank somewhere exposed so that you can open it up and put fuel modules into it. And if you shift and click on it, it will autofill any empty module spaces. What else? So in my ammo box, I've already put 1,000 rounds for the minigun, and I've loaded 50 missiles for the rocket launcher. That's the minigun. This is the rocket launcher. I put them side by side, so hopefully they won't shoot each other. That's one thing, the AI on the guns, you can get friendly fire, and hopefully everything that they want to shoot at also is going to be above me so that they don't shoot out my cockpit. One other thing to mention, usually when you've encountered drones or any other hostiles, mainly drones, the first thing they're going to try and take out are your guns. So it's sort of dangerous having them back here right next to everything. If this doesn't work out, my next iteration will have a set of hull blocks in between the guns and all my goodies here. The other thing is, if they destroy your cockpit, you die. So just keep that in mind. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause the video and start fleshing out the skin. I'm going to keep it fairly similar to this. I think I'm just going to pull out the armoring along the sides here of the cockpit a little bit better. Maybe some cosmetic curves down here underneath. I don't really want to bring it out any further for any wings, and I don't really want to make this much longer than it already is. Probably put something on the front end here just to sort of protect these thrusters. You can put blocks right in front of your thrusters without affecting them, so I may do like a little V-shaped thing. They do block light though, so you can't put them right in front of lamps. And I think that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this right here, and I'll start it up again once I get the armoring done. Okay, so here we are with my ship armored up, and I think it's ready to go. Mainly this is not for taking out bases or doing any real serious fighting. I just want this to get me to the mines faster. And when I was looking at my constructor, what I really need right now is iron and magnesium. So let's see, where do I got some? There's some iron over there. What about over here? There's some there. I'm going to head for this iron deposit on the far side of the lake. This is that other Epsilon fortress. It's just beyond the first one we took over. That will start firing as soon as you get like within, I don't know if it's 400 or 500 meters, something like that. So I'm just going to stay away from it for now and go ahead for this iron deposit. So let's hop in, power up. The Y key powers you up. The space key takes you up, and the V key gives you an outside cockpit view. And you can hold the Alt key and scroll your mouse to move this view back and forth. So I'm going to space to get up to maximum height. Another thing I did, which I'll show you when we come back, I made a little ramp here, and I'm planning on making a landing pad out here in the lake, just so, because it's probably going to be my main highway, if you will, to my mining deposits. So let's head out here to this iron deposit. Maybe it's on this other bay. Take a look. Oh, they see something. Not sure what was over there. Something. Oh, it looks like it's one of those little plant monsters. Okay, look at the map again. Oh yeah, so it's around the island here. One thing when you're approaching a wall of land like this, you probably don't want to come in too terribly fast. And it's also a little easier to climb sideways for some reason. So, and in forested areas, hovercrafts just suck. So you kind of need to go around these forested areas. So let's come out here. Oh, this looks like it's right in a forested area, unfortunately. Hey, I reached level 15, which is awesome because that means I get... Oh, I haven't even mined this one yet. Okay, I wonder if this is flat enough. They tend to like mostly flat ground. This looks like it's pretty good. And then I just hit the Y key to turn it off, V to get back in the cockpit, and F to exit. Okay, I'm going to pause it here because mining is super boring. And when I come back, I'll have my hold full of both iron and magnesium, and then I'll show you what I did at the base and found something else about structural integrity that's pretty cool. Because while I was building that big ramp, half of it fell into the lake, and I didn't understand why. And that's because I didn't have enough blocks actually touching the ground, solid ground, so it couldn't support the weight. So I'll show you how you can figure out if you're flirting with danger there. Okay. Okay, I've got my ship all done. Let me get it back in game here. And I'll show you what it looks like. I also went and did some more mining to get some more materials. I actually really like this hovercraft. It's a lot nicer than the first one I built in my original Empyrion playthrough. I'm not really sure what I like about it. I do think eventually I will raise those guns up higher. Let me run up here. Because they do seem a little low, and I think I did get shot once by friendly fire. But it looks kind of like a hover boat with all the rounded parts on the bottom with these little pontoons. But this is what it looks like all armored up. I really do like it quite a lot. And what I had mentioned earlier when I was talking about structural integrity, so when I was building this ramp, the whole thing fell into the lake here once, and I couldn't figure out why till I did a little Google searching and found out that they have implemented structural integrity And to see that, you just hold down the N key until this little menu pops up, and then you say show structural integrity. Everything that's green is good. Here I'm starting to getting a little yellow. Out in this area it's starting to really get yellow, and orange is where you really have to worry about things. This part is suddenly super green because I made pylons that reach down to the bottom of the lake under this section to help prop up both this ramp and to build this out. Now supposedly I've heard anything anywhere from 8 to 12 blocks are safe from a green zone like this, so I should be able to build out that far. I think I'm going to put pylons every, I don't know, probably every 6 blocks out, just to make sure that everything stays anchored well, because it really sucks to see all your work suddenly fall into the ocean or into the lake. Anyway, that was all I wanted to show for this whole video. You can turn that off again. Just hold the N key and uncheck that checkbox. And this is my hovercraft that I made. I am going to raise these up. I decided I will probably do that by the time I get to the next video, where we'll make a small vessel. Anyway, thanks for watching. I just wanted to get this video finished up. Thanks.